Every single yes you say is 1,000 no's in disguise. You're about to learn how to see the ghosts of the lives you could be living, and why seeing them is the only way to choose the right one. Because right now, your most valuable asset is bleeding out, second by second, and the wound is invisible. The price of any choice is what you gave up to get it. That's the textbook definition of opportunity cost. It sounds simple, almost trivial, but the reality of this idea is a quiet predator that stalks every decision you make, from your career to what you eat for lunch. We think in terms of what we gain. The new job comes with a salary. The new relationship comes with excitement. The new city comes with excitement. We see the choice we made. We live inside its walls. The problem is, you can't see the house you didn't build. Saying yes to that stable 9-to-5 job was also a no. It was a no to the startup you could have founded in your garage. It was a no to the year you could have spent backpacking through Asia, completely rewriting your perspective on the world. It was a no to mastering a different skill, one that might have paid 10 times as much in a decade. These alternative lives are ghost ships. The moment you chose your vessel and set sail, they all departed for their own horizons. You can't see their destinations anymore. You can only see the waves in front of you, and because they are out of sight, they quickly fall out of mind. This invisible accounting happens with every tick of the clock. Choosing to scroll through your phone for an hour is a quiet no to the chapter of a book that could have changed your thinking. It's a no to the phone call with a friend that could have deepened a connection. It's a no to the workout that would have compounded your health. Each individual choice feels small, insignificant, but a life is just an accumulation of these small choices. The real theft is happening in these tiny daily trade-offs where the cost is so low it goes unnoticed, until one day you wake up and wonder how you ended up so far from the shore you intended to reach. But the cost isn't just in these small daily leaks. It shows up in a much more paralyzing form when you're faced with a decision that actually feels important. This leads to the tyranny of the good option. We're often trapped by the abundance of decent choices. The real difficulty in modern life is rarely between a good path and a bad one. The agonizing choices are between good and good and good. Should you take the promotion at your current company or accept the offer from the exciting new startup? Should you move to the city with more opportunities or stay in the town where you have a community? Each option is a valid, defensible path to a happy life. And this is precisely why it's torture. Your brain enters a state of analysis paralysis. It runs endless simulations trying to calculate which good will be marginally better than the other good. You make spreadsheets. You list pros and cons. You ask for everyone's opinion. You're trying to find the perfect choice, the one with zero opportunity cost. You are acting as a maximizer. You want the absolute best, but the world is too complex for that. Every path has a hidden price, a set of ghost ships you must wave goodbye to. The maximizer stands on the dock, watching all the ships leave, because they can't bear the thought of choosing one and missing out on the others. They end up stranded. The alternative is to be a satisficer. A satisficer has clear criteria for what good enough looks like, and they take the first option that meets it. They choose a ship that's headed in the right general direction and get on board. They know other ships might be faster or more luxurious, but they also know that a decent journey, started now, is infinitely better than a perfect journey that never begins. Our culture trains us to be maximizers. The infinite scroll of social media, dating apps, and job boards convinces us that the perfect option is just one more swipe away. This creates a constant low-grade anxiety, a feeling that whatever you've chosen, you've somehow missed out. This paralysis from good choices creates a hidden trap. It makes us cling to the path we're on, even when it's just okay. The reason why is a psychological glitch that weaponizes your own history against you. This glitch is the sunk cost fallacy. It's the voice that whispers, "But you've already invested so much." Sunk costs are the resources, time, money, energy, emotion, that you've already spent and can never get back. They are gone. Logically, they should have zero bearing on your future decisions. Your next choice should be based purely on what's best for you going forward, from this moment on. But the brain doesn't work that way. It hates the feeling of waste. It treats past investments as a justification for future ones. You see it in business all the time. The Concorde supersonic jet was a technological marvel. It was also a commercial disaster. The British and French governments knew for years that it would likely never be profitable, yet they continued to pour billions into the project. Why? Because they had already poured billions into it. Admitting failure meant accepting that the initial investment was a total loss. So they threw good money after bad, year after year. The opportunity cost was staggering. All that capital, all that engineering talent could have been used to build something the world actually needed. We run the same flawed accounting in our own lives. You stay in a relationship that has been slowly dying for years. You know it's over. But you've been together for 5 years. You share a home. You have mutual friends. To leave feels like declaring those 5 years a waste. So you invest a 6th year, hoping to justify the first 5. You stay in a career that makes you miserable because you spent 4 years and $100,000 on the degree. Quitting feels like admitting that was a mistake. So you sink another decade into it. Your own identity becomes the ultimate sunk cost. I am a lawyer, I am a doctor, I am a manager at this company. That identity was built with years of effort. To walk away from the path feels like walking away from yourself. The math is brutal. The 5 years you already spent in that dead-end job are gone. You can't get them back. The real decision is about the next 5 years. Will you sacrifice them too, at the altar of the past? The opportunity cost of the future is always higher than the sunk cost of the past. One is a memory, the other is your life. So how do you break this cycle? The standard advice feels empty. Just let go is like telling someone in quicksand to just step out. You need a specific mental tool, a kind of regret calculus, that can slice through the emotional fog. The most effective tool for this was famously articulated by Jeff Bezos when he decided to leave his lucrative Wall Street job to start an online bookstore. He called it the Regret Minimization Framework. It has nothing to do with business. It's a tool for clarifying life. The framework boils down to a single question. When you are 80 years old, looking back on your life, which course of action will you regret more? It works by forcing a perspective shift. It yanks you out of the immediate, short-term fears and places you in the quiet, reflective state of your future self. Your brain is wired to overvalue immediate threats. The fear of quitting your job is concrete and happens tomorrow. There's the fear of telling your boss, the fear of what your parents will say, the fear of an empty bank account, the fear of being seen as a failure. These fears are loud, sharp, and social. They feel like a physical threat. The regret of staying in a job you hate is a different kind of pain. It's a quiet, chronic ache that spreads over decades. It's the slow erosion of your soul. It's the life you didn't live. At 80, the fear of what your boss thought in your 20s will be comical. It will have zero emotional weight. But the regret for a path of passion and purpose that you never even explored, that regret will be immense. It will be the central story of your life. Let's apply it. You're in a stable but unfulfilling career. You have an idea for a creative project, a business, a book, a new skill. The short-term risk of pursuing it is high. The long-term regret of ignoring it is also high. The framework forces you to put them on the same scale. The fear of social judgment versus the pain of personal regret. One is a fleeting storm. The other is a change in the climate of your life. This framework powerfully illuminates the most expensive opportunity cost of all, the cost of inaction. The things you did and failed at rarely produce deep, lasting regret. You learn, you recover. The things that haunt you are the doors you never tried to open. Their cost feels infinite because their potential was never discovered. But even with this powerful tool, there's a final invisible wall we hit. It's the cost of the options we can't even see. And it's created by the one thing we trust the most, our own expertise. This is the curse of competence. The better you get at something, the higher the opportunity cost of doing anything else. Your skills, reputation, and income become a powerful gravitational force, pulling you deeper into your established path. Imagine an expert as someone who has spent 20 years digging a single deep well. They are incredibly skilled at finding water in that one spot. They're the person everyone calls when they need a well dug. Their entire identity is wrapped up in being the best well digger in the region. But because they have spent all their time digging down, they have a very limited view of the surrounding landscape. They have no idea that just over the hill, there might be a vast freshwater lake accessible to anyone who simply walks there. Their competence in one domain has blinded them to the possibilities of all others. To abandon their well and go looking for a lake feels insane. It would mean starting over. It would mean giving up their status as an expert. It would mean admitting that their 2 decades of focused effort might have been spent in the wrong place. The opportunity cost of their expertise is a constricted worldview. The accountant sees every problem as a balance sheet. The engineer sees every problem as a system to be optimized. The writer sees every problem as a narrative to be shaped. Each of these lenses is powerful. Each is also a cage. The cost isn't just other careers. It's other ways of thinking, other ways of being. The defense against this is to consciously build optionality. It's about drilling small exploratory wells all over the landscape while still maintaining your main one. Learn a skill that's completely unrelated to your job. Build a network of friends and colleagues in different industries. Start small projects and experiments that have a chance of failure. Treat your life less like a single deep excavation and more like a portfolio of small bets. This leads to the most uncomfortable truth of all. The very idea of having a single fixed life path might be the most expensive choice you can make. The real cost is in choosing one path and believing it is permanent. Ultimately, your life is an open field, a landscape of infinite possibilities. A path is formed only by the steps you take. Every day you wake up and choose to walk in the same direction, you deepen that path. But you can always choose to change direction. You can leave the path and cut across the grass. The goal is to keep as much of the field open to you for as long as possible. Opportunity cost is a compass showing you the true price of your choices. It's the whisper that asks, is this the absolute best use of this irreplaceable moment of my life? Seeing the ghosts of other lives is meant to remind you that your current life is a deliberate choice. A choice you are actively making, right now, with every yes and with every no. And the strange thing is, this same logic of invisible costs explains why the safest seeming financial advice is often the riskiest, which is a different kind of uncomfortable.